Hey folks, Randy here with Dulin Cut Trim. So I wanted to tell you about what happened to me 6 weeks into going into lawn care full time. So when I started my business, obviously I had no business going into lawn care full time when I did. I started in the business in February. In my area, there's still snow on the ground in February, and when I had gone part time, I had 17 customers. Of those 17 customers, 12 of them left me. So when I started full-time in the lawn care business, I had 5 customers. Fortunately, we were able to build from there, and we were able to build pretty quickly, but money was super tight in the beginning because that's just how it works. And so we got started, and I didn't have a lot of equipment, obviously, because I'm starting. So I had a $220 trimmer from Home Depot and a $300 backpack blower, and those were my handheld pieces of equipment. And, somebody had told me once, and I didn't believe them, and I still don't believe them, but it's kind of hard to refute. And that is, people can sense when you're starting to do well, and that's when they'll try and take advantage of you. And that's what happened to me, essentially. We were 6 weeks into the season, had gone from 5 customers to right around 60. It was pretty insane. And I go out to cut a lawn one day. It was in May. Hop in the truck, drive to the property, and I always trim first. And get out of the truck, go to grab my trimmer, and it is not there. It is not on the rack. And there is the only thing that's on the rack is there's a piece of the lock still on there from when they cut it. And I also look over, backpack is gone too. So they had stolen both. And I didn't know what to do because when that happened, I had $236 in the bank, which obviously is not enough to replace those things. It was right around $550 worth of stuff they stole. And I didn't know what to do. So I went back to my house panicking. And I remembered that 2 weeks previous, I had bought a backpack blower from my neighbor. I went over to where he was, where I'd left it because it was a garbage looking blower. And he'd had it. It was a steel. He told me it was a BR350. I didn't even look. It started. It was pretty rough. Like the trigger didn't work. You started it. It was on full throttle the whole time. And he just wanted $75 for it. And I'm like, okay, have a backup. So I had a backup blower, but it was a old. It looked like it had never been inside ever. Like it was completely bleached pink and just rough looking. So I had that, but I still needed to get a trimmer. And the trimmer was going to end up being, like I said, I had $236. And that's it, it's not like we had more, my wife had money, and then this is what I had. This was all we had. And so I called a buddy of mine and told him, like, hey, this is what's going on. I got $220. What should I buy? I was thinking about getting into steel. Should I get the $200 steel trimmer? What do you think? And he was like, well, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. And so I was like, okay. So I go back to my house. Well, I'm already at my house. I go outside and start messing with the steel blower to see if it'll work. And it did, of course. And so I cleaned it off, and the thing I discovered when I cleaned it off was it was so covered in dirt and grime that it looked like it said BR350 on it. It didn't. It was a BR550, which, of course, for those of you that know, a BR550 at the time was a $600 blower, where the BR350 is like, what, a $250 blower? So I had gotten a $500 blower for $75. Score. So my friend calls me back and is like, hey, I've talked to my dealer. I can hook you up with a trimmer. We can get like a discounted price. Just swing, I just gonna go by my dealer and pick it up, and you can swing by later today. And I was like, okay. So I go to the bank, pull the money out. A little stressed because he didn't say how much it was going to cost, and he's one of those guys that likes expensive stuff. And just figured, well, this is all the money I got. So, if he wants more, he ain't getting it. And so I drive up there, and he hands me the trimmer. It's a brand new Stihl FS90R. And since I was an equipment nerd at the time, I knew that was a $350 trimmer, and I did not have that. And so I told him, I was like, dude, I can't pay you for this. I don't have enough money. And he was like, no, it's yours. And he just gave it to me. That was a moment in my business where things could have really gone south pretty fast, but they didn't, because I scored on that blower, $75 blower, and then he gave me that trimmer. And so thieves came in and stole $550 worth of equipment off my trailer. And within 24 hours, it had been replaced with over $1,000 worth of equipment that I paid $75 for. So I don't know. I just thought that was a cool story and wanted to share it. So I don't know. Hope it's helpful to you. If you've gotten robbed, it sucks a lot. Figure out what you can do to make sure it doesn't happen again, and move on with your life. So it's Randy with Dulin Cut Trim. Have a good one.